everybody. Bearcat Insider. Start off with saying Happy New Year. It's New Year, new show. Actually, it's not. It's the same old thing. But here we go. It's basketball. I think this is, what is this, Coach Marsh? Week 3 of our basketball report?
This is week 3, but let's introduce ourselves.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I'm Travis Marsh.
Are you?
Yes.
Everyone's favorite assistant coach.
Assistant coach for the Pilot Point Bearcats.
Awesome. I'm Chance Kirby.
Pilot Point's favorite son.
Yes, and we're gonna try to get you caught up on what's happened since our last show, which would be
I have
3 games.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Did you ever suit up to play basketball for the Cats?
I did. I quit my junior year.
Okay.
Didn't play varsity though. Played JV.
So
I was terrible.
Coach West ran me out of the gym after one day.
He's my coach too.
So you beat me by a little bit.
I got the funniest thing. Coach Walling was also my coach. Do you know my highest scoring game? It
was higher than mine.
You're gonna laugh when I tell you this. Was 21 points.
What?
Yes, it was. But it was the senior faculty game.
Oh no! Oh man! So you're letting who was going on you? Did they put like Miss Terry on you? Or?
Exactly. Yeah, Miss Terry. I don't know.
They doubled you with Miss Terry and Miss Newbie?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They had to double me.
That's a solid output.
Yeah.
21 points.
Yeah.
Well, I lasted a day, and Coach West, he asked me if I was sure if I wanted to play basketball. I was like, well, no, not really. That's why I'm trying it out. And then it clicked what he was trying to do there, and I was like, yeah, I'm out.
I enjoy one thing about basketball, and it was what everyone else hated, but it still didn't translate. I enjoy playing defense.
Yeah.
And shocking, I was annoying playing defense because I ran a lot, had a lot of energy, and would just be in their face the whole time.
I can tell you get to run a lot.
I did, and so we decided that I should go on to off season.
Yeah, well, it happens. It happens. So your basketball career was much more illustrious than mine.
Yeah.
But we digress.
Yeah.
So we had 3 games on slate for, I guess, the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. And so we had showdowns with Maypearl, Dodge City, and Boyd. 2 of those were non-district with Maypearl and Dodge City. And then we had our 3rd district ball game against Boyd. We ended 2020 on the downhill slide.
How was the Maypearl game? I saw you promoting it pretty heavy on Twitter.
It was a long bus ride.
Yeah.
And
did y'all eat anywhere nice on the way home?
Where did Whataburger?
Okay.
Coach Alling's pick.
Of course.
So thanks, Coach Alling.
I feel like he's a frequent flyer.
Yes, he. If there was a Whataburger rewards program, he would be whatever diamond or platinum, whatever that tier would be.
They just parked the cars when he drove up,
yes,
let him through.
Yes, he's on a first name basis there. At whatever Whataburger he goes to, it doesn't matter. But it was the end of 2020 was not kind to the Bearcats, and we are undefeated, as you pointed out, in 2021.
There you go.
If we can stay undefeated in 2021, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Good things would happen, I'd presume.
Either going to win state or end up undefeated because they shut it down due to COVID.
Well, yes, we've seen that before.
Yes.
Hopefully not at the state tournament if we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
But Maypearl, we go down there and we drop the game 40-34. Low scoring affair. I guess the most frustrating part about it, besides the fact that we spent double the time on the bus than we did playing basketball for a loss, was that we were winning at halftime. And then we just couldn't get it together in the second half at all. They outscored us by, I do believe, 17 points, if my math is correct, which it probably isn't. But
whether it's 1 or 17, it's a loss.
Doesn't matter. We lost, and so we turn around and we play back-to-backs, and we play Dodge City at home, and we have us a barn burner, 66-55. And you will have to pardon me, I don't have stats in front of me for the games. I couldn't get it to pull up on Huddle correctly, and then the book is in the office. But the Dodge City game,
it's amateur up here at Bearcat Insider.
It is. I'm turning a new leaf on 2021. I'm going to be completely unprepared all the time.
Not only like in football when you always wanted to be cold and in the dark. Now it's just for everything.
Yeah, I'm just going.
Yeah.
We're just going to wing it. But what I will say about Dodge City is, the offense kind of came alive, scored 55 points, but it was at the expense of defense, apparently. We allowed 66 points. But that game specifically, and you were there. You were Chance Kirby in the house.
I was top row center.
Behind the camera, the man behind the camera.
Yeah.
Rowdy Robinson, which we've dubbed the freshman sensation, he scored a whole lot of points. He scored, I do believe 18 is what I had him at. But Dylan Gann, sophomore Dylan Gann, man,
he's athletic.
He is, and he just kind of exploded out of nowhere and decided he wanted to start making some three-pointers. And, his defense is always there. His hustle is always there. But he took care of the ball. Turnovers have always been there. And all of a sudden, Dylan Gann decided that he was going to throw it to the right team and, do all these things. And, man, he kind of went off a little bit. And
just
so
kind of brought it all together.
He did. And I was very impressed with him.
I don't think we've used maturation process this year.
That's another good one.
So is that it finally?
Yes, his maturation process. I don't think it's ended.
Yeah.
But I think it has begun.
But it's clicked to where now.
Well, and we'll talk about it because he's going to be in the top 3 scorers in the Boyd game. And so, I was really impressed with the way that the freshman kind of handled himself, and then the way that Dylan handled himself in that Dodge City game, even though the scoreboard wasn't what we wanted it to be. But it's hard whenever you have number 15 from Dodge City, who looked to be maybe Dylan Gann's uncle. Guy had the thickest beard I might have ever seen on a high school kid.
I wish I had that beard going on.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a shot at me, actually, with my patchwork beard that I have put together.
I mean, I can't do what he did.
Yeah, and so...
I thought he was a super fan when we got there. It was like one of those guys that just wants to dress like the team.
Yeah, that's kind of... Yeah, that's kind of where I was. I was like,
this guy wore a uniform.
Guy?
Kind of like them golf tournaments where people wear their golf spikes and carry a putter.
Yeah.
I thought he just wore a uni. I was like, you know what? I'm going to cheer for my son and wear his uniform.
The rest of the team, when they were shooting at halftime of the JV game, was in full uniform.
Yeah.
Number 15 was in half regalia with jersey up top, blue jeans on the bottom. And I was like, oh, it's just a manager. Kid loves basketball, can't play. But... God, you put the ball in his hands, and it is like...
He had moves.
Well, it's like old man moves.
Yeah.
It's what I'm going to go ahead and make the comment because I know he's going to listen. It's kind of like what I think would happen if Bubba Robinson and Rowdy Robinson played on the driveway.
Yeah.
I think number 15 was a lot of what Bubba's going to do. A lot of old man shiftiness down there by the basket and the crazy quick dribble moves that he just gets it done. So... Shout out to Bubba Robinson. Old man basketball in the house.
Well, I'm about to sound like you during football season. Not to take anything away from Dodge City, but I told the producer, the sound producer, who was sitting up there beside me before the game started. I said, I don't have a good feeling about this game. And he's like, really? I'm like, they don't look very athletic at all, but I feel like they're about to put it on us.
Well, they did. And it was all on the strong back of number 2 and his 38 points that he dropped on us.
Good Lord, was that how many?
It felt like 58.
Yeah.
I don't know if he missed. The running joke could be, oh, look, there's number 2 just made another 3 in our face. But we didn't cover him well enough for him to make it in our face.
Yeah.
We just had defensive lapses. I don't know. This is going to sound awful. But whenever you have district ball games before the break, you have district ball games at the end of the break, and then we sprinkle in non-district games in between, maybe it's hard for our kids to focus. How
hard is it for kids to focus in general? I'm not speaking of these kids. I'm talking about over your career when you don't have school, when you've got Christmas and everything else going on.
Well, and then you don't have you can't dangle the carrot of it being a district ball game either. And so
Dodge City didn't seem to have a problem with that, though.
No.
But they did have the added motivation of they were playing up in classification.
Sure. Well, they played well.
They did.
I was very impressed with them. But I tell you what, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Hear a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll kind of put the finishing touches on these two games before we move on to Boyd.
There is no better source for local news than the Pilot Point Post-Signal. Pilot Point Post-Signal has been covering Pilot Point since 1878, providing award-winning top-notch coverage of Pilot Point and the Pilot Point Bearcats. You can start your subscription today by going to postsignal.com and signing up for their special, which is 2 months free of the digital and print copy, or you can call their phone number at 940-686-2169. The Pilot Point Post-Signal, the best source for local news.
Cat fans, one thing that I love about walking into the field house is looking at all the old pictures that you have from years past and being able to relive the history of those great teams and great players. And I love walking through with my sons and showing them a picture and saying, man, look at that guy, and telling them a story about a great play. And you can have the same opportunity to do that with your family by using Ashley Marsh Photography to capture your family's great memories. Seeing those pictures of your family will allow you to talk to your kids or your grandkids and tell great stories about things that you've done or things that you've seen or just funny memories that you might have. So if you ever want to document your family's history, please contact Ashley Marsh Photography. You can find her on Facebook, on Instagram using Ashley Marsh Photography, as well as her website, ashleymarshphotography.com.
Thank you to those sponsors. We sure do appreciate them. Now, I have a quick word, and then I'll let you have your time. I'm not going to hog the mic.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We talk a lot about Rowdy Robinson as a scorer. And Rowdy plays a whole lot of basketball. He does. And I've been very impressed with his ability to score. But the thing that's kind of stuck out when we're stuck on this maturation process that you wanted to bring up.
It's just fun to say.
It is.
It makes me sound basketball smart.
It does. It just makes you sound smart in general.
Yeah. Got everyone fooled.
I've been really impressed with his ability to play defensively and also on the boards. I know you got to watch 2 games this week. When you look at him and you see him, he doesn't exactly look like a freshman. You know, I mean, you can tell he's young because he's a thin kid, but he's tall, but he doesn't move like a freshman. He's not lost on the court like a freshman is. I've been really impressed with his ability to play defensively. And then
I have too. To me, it's like a kid playing defensive back or a man in a band playing bass guitar. Yeah. If you don't notice them, that means they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
When you notice people defensively, that's usually not good.
No, that's true. And unless they're just swatting the mess out of the ball all the time or, making extraordinary plays. But, I think that's the part of it is Rowdy doesn't stick out defensively.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
That's awesome.
That means he's generally doing his job. And then we're going to talk about him a whole lot more later on in the show. But I've been very impressed with Dylan.
Yeah.
You look at him and you can tell he's athletic. And then when he starts moving around, you can tell he's real athletic. And then all of a sudden when he jumps, it's like, holy crap, this kid can go.
Yeah.
And so I've been really impressed with kind of the spark that he's provided. And then, we had an off week for half of the week. What stuck out against Dodge City was our lack of defensive effort. I just thought that we didn't play well. We didn't hustle. We didn't do the things that we needed to do to win a game. We scored enough points offensively. But there's no reason, in my opinion, looking at the Dodge City game, looking what they put on the court and what we put on the court.
The eye test, like I was speaking earlier. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about as far as defensively. Number 15, the old man, so to speak.
Yeah.
What was he doing to shut Ish down? How could that guy shut Ish down?
What he did is he used his feet really well. It's you brought up playing defensive back. Playing defensive back in man defense is the same thing as playing basketball defense when you're in man. You really stop them with your feet. If I don't move and I don't shuffle and I don't get my feet in front of the other player, they're going to have an unobstructed trip to the basket. That's just how it's going to happen. And so what 15 did is he did just a great job of playing great fundamental defense. Good old man basketball.
So because they failed the eye test, there's no one that could look at that and be like, wow, these kids have better athletes than Pilot Point. They make up for it like all teams that lack athletes by team play, and they were fundamentally sound.
Yeah, and they don't have football at Dodge City, and not that we're going to use football as a crutch for why we didn't beat them. You could tell they'd spent a lot of time in the gym shooting.
Mm-hmm.
They had good shots. They were fundamentally sound at what they did, and it caused problems for us. Turnovers were a big time problem for us, and then getting out rebounded. And you hate to call kids out, and I wouldn't call any kid out individually on the podcast, but I think overall, if at the end of the season when we drop the tape, if somebody circled this and said, I'm going to go back and watch that Dodge City game, you're going to see kids from Dodge City that got off the bus and they wanted to go win a basketball game. And I think you're going to look at a bunch of kids in white that said, I'm just here to play. And when the game's over, win or lose, it's cool because I'm just here to play and I don't really care. And hats off to Dodge City. They came to play. We didn't, and the scoreboard reflected it. And so, it's. I think it was just a down game.
Yeah. So out with the bad in 2020. Put all that behind us.
Yeah.
New year, new attitude.
Undefeated 2021.
We're also undefeated in district, right?
It's true.
After this game.
Yeah.
So, you want to take a break before we get into Boyd?
Let's do it.
All right. Located in Pilot Point, Texas, the Chandler family has been making custom cabinets for over 40 years. As a team, Chandler Cabinets is committed to designing and building the perfect cabinets for you. They will make the process comfortable and stress-free by personally guaranteeing a superior product built on the standard of superior craftsmanship and immaculate customer satisfaction. From concept to completion, perfect form and function. Chandler Cabinets is an award-winning company with a reputation for consistent innovation at the highest level of design. You can find more information on Chandler Cabinets at chandlercabinets.net or on their Facebook page, Chandler Cabinets. Chandler Cabinets, 40 years of excellence.
Hi, I'm Greg Pelzel. Here at Pelzel Printing, we do custom embroidery, custom screen printing, and promotional product. You can reach Greg Pelzel at 940-453-5443. Go Bearcats.
All right. Back from break. Again, we sure want to thank our sponsors. We sure appreciate everything that they do for us. And we're going to talk a little Boyd basketball. Boyd versus the Bearcats.
There you go.
All right. And so what was the view from the top there?
Well, the first thing, and it was a joke, but not really. I told you, and I spoke to Coach Price, the first thing I wanted us to be sure and do was outscore the football team. Which was 52 points.
Yeah, no, that's I wish defensively we could have done what we did in football.
It wasn't that far away.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
We got close as you can get. I mean, when we're talking basketball. But no, I enjoyed that game. I would, after leaving the Dodge City game and what I saw, I was expecting trouble.
Yeah.
And we, just like the Boyd football game, came out and very quickly put Boyd to bed.
Well, we don't have a captain, so to speak. Basketball, you don't have a captain that you send out there to the coin flip. Players don't have a captain that can talk to the officials or anything like that. But I think if we had to have a captain, I think Avery's kind of the captain.
Okay.
Avery played a heck of a ball game. And I think that's where the Bearcats started rolling, is behind the strength of the captain. Avery, he was the leading scorer with 18 points. He also had 2 steals, and he played.
Only 2? Gosh, it seemed like he had more than that.
Well,
if you would have asked me,
that's what the stats show.
Gotcha.
So if you have a problem with that, you can talk to your huddle.
I don't have a
about
problem with that, but if you would have had me guess, I would not have said
no.
2.
And here's the reason why you would assume that. He played with such great energy and such great effort. And he was always around the ball. Mm-hmm. I felt like he was all over the place in a very, very positive way. I thought he played great. I thought that he kind of spearheaded a very good team effort. And I think that's what we got. So Boyd, we beat 67-31. It puts us at 5-4 on the season, 3-0 in district, which obviously in district, that's right where we want to be. 1-0 in 2021. And so Avery's 18 points were the leaders. Rowdy dropped 16 in behind Avery, and then Dylan Gann 9 points. He's steadily working his way on up the scoring chart there pretty consistently. And this is one we're going to come back to and talk about. We had 2 people tied for the leading rebounds with 9, with Cade Carter and Rowdy Robinson. And then Aiden came in. He chipped in 5 rebounds. And then defensively, no block shots is what the stat book says. And then 2 steals from Avery. But Cade made his first appearance in the starting lineup, I do believe. Maybe his second. I can't remember exactly. But it showed on the boards. He made an immediate impact on the offensive and defensive rebounds. And I was happy to see that.
Yeah, you asked me before we started what we were kind of talking about the games, and that's what I had mentioned to you, that I didn't have the stats, but I definitely noticed him getting some rebounds.
Yeah, and I think that he'll continue to grow into the role defensively to where we might be able to get a rim protector out of him. He certainly has the physique for it. He's a big old kid, and then once the mentality gets there, and I think once he really starts to take some pride in the defending the rim and being a presence down there, I think he is one that when we look back at the 2020-2021 season, and if you were to put a curve on somebody, right now he's trending up from the start of the season to where we are right now. And the good thing is most everybody's kind of doing that. We have more things that are trending up right now, and then we have a couple kids. There's some squiggly lines going up and down. Just depends on kind of what the weather is, I guess you could say. But I was very impressed with Cade's ability to get the rebounds and get some putbacks, and I think that's something that could be huge for the Bearcats going forward. Offensive rebounds, it adds extra possessions. Defensive rebounds, it ensures that we get a possession instead of the opponent.
Yeah, offensively, now you can say you wouldn't have those if you weren't missing shots, but there were several times that we missed 2 shots and we would get the rebound and then start back over.
Yeah,
and that's huge.
That is. It gives us more opportunities to put the ball in the bucket.
Yeah.
And
and keeps them from doing it. That's even more important.
Yeah, for sure. And so I was very impressed kind of with how we came out and just dominated Boyd. I felt like the game was never in question.
That game never was.
And I don't think that's an indictment against Boyd. No. I think that's an indictment that our kids decided they were going to go out and play some basketball. And they were cutthroat, and they got after it. They hustled, they played hard, they out-rebounded them, they out-hustled them, obviously outscored them. But I was very impressed with the way that the Cats came out and played.
To rewind, I really thought it was going to be a whole lot more excitement in this game when it started, because the JV game that you were coaching, that got a little chippy.
It did.
And I thought, man, this is going to be good. Now, the varsity, it didn't carry over. Their varsity didn't have the chip on their shoulder, bad attitude that the JV kids did. But, man,
yeah,
it was getting exciting.
It was.
You normally don't see it in the JV game, but
no, the crowd was fired up too. Both sides.
Yeah, the whole thing was just, this is a JV game, and if it's this crazy now, this varsity game is going to be amazing.
Well, I think whenever the scoreboard starts to widen,
yeah,
that takes a lot of there's not near as much pressure on the officials. There's not near as much pressure on either fan base.
Yeah.
You get to a point whenever I think we were up by 20, and I think at that point you could see Boyd's players kind of start saying, God, let's just get out of here.
Yeah, unfortunately, the coach, I think, thought that because he wasn't hitting us with timeouts and delaying the inevitable.
No, but and again, what it goes back to is the Bearcats took care of business. They played outside of the Ponder game. They played as close to a complete game as I've seen them play all season.
I thought, and I've only been to the home games, that we actually played better against Boyd than we did against Ponder.
Yeah, well, and you saw them both, and from a different perspective.
Of course, we've had that many more practices and games too. I mean, we can't help but get better.
The gap will widen.
Yeah,
the longer the season goes on, more practices, and that'll even out. Let's take one more break, and then we come back. We will have the Caleb Marsh Happy New Year player of the week.
Sounds awesome. Since 1983, the Scott Walker Insurance Agency has been covering the insurance needs of Pilot Point. Regardless of what that need may be, they have you covered, offering homeowners, auto, life, farm and ranch, and commercial. Give them a call at 940-686-2692. That's Germania Insurance, the Scott Walker Insurance Agency, located just north of the town square at 211 Scott Lane in Pilot Point, Texas. Scott Walker Insurance Agency, always there to help.
We want to wish our varsity cheerleader, Abby, a great senior year. Love Mom, Dad, and Michael.
Pelzel Barbershop and Salon and Southern Junkies has been home of the Bearcats since 1973. Whether you are looking for a classic crew cut or the perfect game day outfit, we have you covered. We carry a few fan favorite brands including Hey Dude Shoes, Judy Blue Jeans, Z Supply Clothing, and Orleans Candle Company. Come check us out on the north side of the square in downtown Paula Point or online at www.southernjunkies.com, and that is junkies with a Z. And don't forget, go Bearcats!
All right, we're back, and now it's what's quickly become my favorite segment of the basketball show. We have the Caleb Marsh sponsored Happy New Year from Caleb Marsh, player of the game.
Absolutely.
Who would that be this week?
Well, that's going to be Dylan Gann.
All right.
And anybody who has watched a Bearcat basketball game, you notice number 24. He sticks out like a sore thumb because he is in constant motion, and it is explosive motion. And he kind of found his stroke shooting the ball this week, and he put in over 20 points against Dodge City, and he hammered 3 3-pointers home against Boyd. And so he's starting to show up on that side of the ball a whole lot more. But his ability to get the ball on rebounds and defensively apply pressure just really stuck out over the course of the week. And so, Dylan Gann.
Congrats, Dylan Gann,
Yes.
in your trophy case.
Yes, Happy New Year.
There are a lot of cool things, but the Caleb Marsh Happy New Year award.
Yeah. That's it. That's the one.
That's one you want to put on the resume.
It's basically this week's Heisman.
It is.
Now next week, nobody's going to be the Happy New Year Player of the Week next week.
No, but who knows what it's going to be next week.
It'll be something.
But thank you, Caleb Marsh, for the sponsorship.
Absolutely. We sure do appreciate it. I'll have to think of a more creative name next time.
And speaking of that, I want to jump into something real quick. I've had a couple of people that had mentioned to me, they're like, hey, we'd love your show, and we know that you guys, all the time you put in, but we really don't have anything to sponsor, and not everyone is like Caleb and wants to be the Caleb Marsh Christmas Award, and then the next week the Caleb Marsh Happy New Year Award.
Yep.
So we've come up with an answer, a solution for those of you that want to help but don't want to sponsor, and it's called Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. And I'll have the link in the YouTube notes, and it is literally exactly what we say it is. You click on it, and it's going to charge you for a cup of coffee, and you can buy me a cup of coffee or Travis a Dr. Pepper.
Absolutely.
And that's it. You don't have to sponsor anything. You're like, hey, you guys are doing a good job. Have a drink on me. It's an AC/DC song.
This is a good one.
Yeah, might put that in the show.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you go. You just click on that, and you can get Travis a Dr. Pepper and me a coffee, and
I'm in.
it's that simple.
I can always use more Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I'll always drink coffee. So anyway, get back to the show.
Yeah, no, and so thank you for that, Chance.
Yeah, and AC/DC.
Yes. Now that I'm gonna have to get on Spotify as soon as we're over here, or maybe I could hook it up. But again, we just want to thank the Bearcat fans for their continued support of Bearcat basketball. You can always watch the home games on our YouTube channel. If you don't know when it's going to be, if you'll subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on that notification, you will get a notification on your phone when we go live, and we are more than happy to bring you the varsity girls and varsity boys game.
I highly recommend subscribing because we're filming it, and even we don't know when it's going to be. We had hoped 11:55, and that's what we scheduled it for on YouTube this week, but it was closer to 12:15.
Yeah.
And if you have those notifications, you don't have to worry about it because you're going to get it. So subscribe, and then YouTube will let you know when we're broadcasting.
Absolutely. And I do appreciate you and the sound engineer, my dad, Roger Marsh, sticking it out there on the top row.
Oh, we have a good time.
Well, I'm glad y'all do. It's debatable. It depends on the officials.
You were having fun in that JV game. When it got chippy, you were as worked up as anybody.
I was. One of those officials, sadly, I can't remember his name, but I coached him in Sanger.
Do you want to talk about that game just real quickly?
You're going to make my blood pressure go up again.
The kid threw an elbow and hit Crew in the face.
In the face.
I want to make sure that I saw that too.
When you do that in a basketball game, when those two are officiating.
And Crew has pretty teeth.
Yeah,
I mean, that's dangerous.
You know what happens whenever those two guys are officiating and you do that? You get your second warning.
Yeah.
Why give a technical? But we digress. But like I told the guy, I made sure and I told him that he is an inspiration to all of us. He thought I was sarcastic. I don't know why. But
I want to know. I know you keep trying to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But I do want to know. Crew didn't do anything, right? I mean, because sometimes in those things there is you only see the second shot.
Yeah.
All I saw was just out of the blue, Crew's covering this guy, and the guy throws his right elbow into Crew's face.
Crew was doing his job. We were in a man defense at the time, and it's a deny type thing. We're trying to deny our man the ball, and so it's up close and personal. We're in each other's bubble at that point, and the kid got really tired of Crew just pestering him. So I guess when you're that kid.
Just like Miss Villarreal and Terry did in that senior faculty game. And I was covering them.
Just like it. Just like that. He got tired of it, and when you're that kid, you just elbow somebody in the face.
Yeah.
And get a warning immediately after you just got your first warning 2 minutes ago.
Okay, I'll let you out of it now.
Those JV officials, if that's their approach to parenting, they're in for a world of hurt.
I told your dad when we were sitting up there, I'm like, I hope these are the officials in the varsity game, because I'm like, this is such a train wreck and the crowd is so worked up. This is going to be such an awesome varsity game. But darn it, they were walking off the court with the teams at the end of the game.
Yeah. Fortunately for everybody else involved, they were not going to continue. And never mind. I'll just keep getting myself in more and more trouble.
I love your love for refs. It doesn't matter what sport. That's the one thing you're the most consistent about.
Yeah. My love for them. I love those guys. They're awesome. At least I can't get fined yet.
Yeah.
So I guess if I ever make my way to the college ranks or to the pros, I'm going to have to be much more loving. I'll just stay the JV coach in Pilot Point.
You'll make much more money though, so you'll have it to give.
I'll just stay the JV coach in Pilot Point.
Yeah.
Who'd want to advance?
Yeah.
This would be great. I'm really going to wrap it up now.
Okay.
Now that you got me worked up, I'm going to have
to
take a deep breath and not fuss about the guy who doesn't know what a travel is.
God, that guy did take like 4 steps.
See?
I forgot about that one.
Or what about
that game was so awesome?
Or what about whatever the guy that was the post just put his shoulder down to barrel through Alex Gaspard to go make a layup?
That dude did some kind of Boyd version of the Euro step. We'll call it the Boyd step.
It's the Wise County step.
He walked like 6 steps and did a spin move. That's when I walked in the building and you were pointing and just shaking your head.
Man.
You were like, he took quite a few steps. I think
I did.
Sorry, I'll let you wrap it up now.
It's okay.
The Wise County step.
Are we going to have to add the segment of Coach Marsh's adventures with officiating for the week?
Man, sponsorship available.
Man, yeah. I promise you'll get some airtime if you sponsor officials' rants. All right, Bearcat fans, we'd like to say thank you to our sponsors. Ashley Marsh Photography, the Pilot Point Post Signal, Chandler Cabinets, Pellsville Printing, Southern Junkies, and last but not least, Dana Walker with the Germania Insurance. Without the support of those local businesses, we couldn't bring this highly entertaining show to you and into your living room or your car or wherever you happen to be listening to it. So support those local businesses like they support us. And as always, go Bearcats.
Whoa, whoa.